Hello guys, so on today's video I'm gonna show you how to connect Rosso electric ATV controller to the rest of the electrical components. So this video will be very useful for people who are trying to maybe modify something or build their own machine, and they bought all of the components, or they don't know what to buy in order to make everything work like on original Rosso ATV. Or this video will be helpful for those people who are trying to replace the controller and you unplugged all of the plugs. Now you have a new controller and you don't know how to plug everything back in place to avoid burning controller or any components. So let's start with the batteries. This is the 3 setup battery for the Model X ATV, and this is how they're supposed to be connected, with the short wires between them. So negative to positive, black negative, red positive, going through the fuse box and going to the plug. Now when you will be starting to install your controller, do not plug in your main power plug yet. This would be the last part that you want to plug in. So let's start from the beginning, from the forward, neutral and the reverse switch. So from your controller you will be seeing yellow and the blue wire coming out. You want to connect this into front of the switch. So if you have this forward, neutral and the reverse switch, those crossed wires will be facing forward of your machine. So please take a look where those two wires must be connected from the controller. So yellow one going to the bottom of this black wire, and the blue one going also to the bottom of the black wire. This is the front of the switch. Okay, now the back of the switch, you have a red wire and black wire, and they are going directly into your motor. So the red wire goes on the top of the back of the switch and the black one on the bottom. That's it. Those two stays disconnected on the side. So I'll take a moment again so you see how everything is connected, and so you can see clearly how this switch works. Okay, well, we got that. Our next plug will be 3-pin plug, and it's going to be labeled alarm. So that one is going to go directly to your alarm module if you wish to have alarm and the remote start on your ATV or on your project that you're planning to build. Let's say that. So I'm going to plug it in. We're done with this plug. It's labeled alarm. This is your alarm module, and this is your speaker that making noise, and this is your antenna actually reception antenna. So the battery, you're going to make it straight and sticking out from your ATV, the better reception of your remote fob will be. Okay, now next plug you want to look for, it's gonna say throttle. It's a 3-pin plug. So this pin plug is red wire, black on the middle and gray, and it's going to the same 3-pin female plug on your throttle handle. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, this plug. Okay, now the plug number 2 that you want to look is going to say power switch. This is your ignition switch, ignition key. This ignition key is actually built into the handle in 2023 and 24 models. So this throttle handle will have 3 plugs. One of those plugs are going to go for this power switch, which is a yellow and the brown wire, female plug coming from the accelerator handle. So this yellow and the brown wire will have to go and click into the male plug called power switch. Okay, and the last, you're gonna have another throttle plug labeled throttle. It's gonna have 2 wires. One of them is blue with a red stripe, and another wire is black. So black is negative, blue and red is positive. This third plug that goes to the accelerator handle, this is responsible to lighting up your display and showing you how much energy your battery have. So we're going to plug in this number 3 female plug with the green and a gray wire to the throttle plug. Okay, next you're gonna have a plug says brake, and you're gonna have another brake, so 2 brakes. It's going to be plugged in directly to the brake lever. I have only one of them in my possession, so I'm connecting one of them. And if I would have another handle, left hand side or right hand side, I would connect it to another plug that says brake, but I don't have it right now. So now next would be the most confusing for many people, and I circled this with a red pen. This is the accessory wiring harness. So this accessory wiring harness, which is a part number EATVU57 from Rosso website, this is the only part that is not labeled. None of the plugs are labeled, and people get confused what is what and where it is has to be connected. So when you're going to have this wiring harness EATVU57 for Model X or Model Q, they both the same wiring harness, you will have to plug in single wire, which is a green with a yellow stripe. It's going to say brake light that comes from the controller. It says brake lights, and it's only single wire, even though that this brake lights has two wires, but on the other side it's only one wire. So don't worry, that's how it's supposed to be. So we're going to plug it in. Okay, now next plug on this wiring harness will be female plug that you will be plugged in to indicator plug. Now indicator, it's maybe a weird name, but that's how factory name power supply. Maybe they should have put 36 volts or 48 volts. You know, open source of power would be much easier to determine what's this plug means, but that's how they determine it, that's how they translate it, and that's how you're going to receive on your controller. Maybe this indicator plug in 2024 is not going to say indicator, it's just going to say IND, 3 letters, that's all. So it's a short name of the indicator. So remember, this is an open source of power. In my case, it's a 3 batteries of 36 volts. If you mess with this plug accidentally and short those 2 wires, it's going to make big spark and you're going to burn the controller, and you have to start all over again, buying a new part. So be very careful how you're dealing with this indicator plug, because this is a 36 volts, basically same power as on this big plug. Okay, so this indicator plug going to be plugged in to this another second and the only female plug on this wiring harness, on this accessory wiring harness. So look for a green and a black wire from this accessory wiring harness and plug into the indicator plug. Now, so this accessory wiring harness going to have only 2 female plugs, only 2 female plugs, and they going to the controller. The rest of the plugs would be male. Well, this one is male, this one male, this one male, this one is male, this one actually female, but that's a 3-pin, so you cannot mess with this one. Okay, once you plug in those 2 plugs, you follow this big wire, long wire, and that's going to be plugged in directly to your rear tail light. Now this is a newer version tail light. You can buy 2 different options from Rosso website. Make sure that you buy this one, because this one is capable to handle voltage between 36 and 48 volts LED. So pretty cool. Now next 2 plugs on this wiring harness will not be labeled, but one of them is going to be dark green, another one is going to be light green, and that one is going to be plugged in to your horn and light buttons. So look for the female plug with the green and the blue wire and plug in to the male plug with the two green ones. One of them is dark, another one is light green. So plug in this green and black, blue, dark blue. Okay, next plug that you're going to find on this accessory wiring harness will be a plug unlabeled also with the green and the blue wire. This green and blue wire is also going to this light button. So you're going to look for the female plug with the yellow and the red wire. So the yellow and the red wire going to the male plug, green and blue. We're going to plug it in. Now next you're going to have two same female plugs, and it doesn't matter which one you're going to connect where, because one of them for the left hand side headlight, another one for the right hand side headlights. So it doesn't matter which one is which one, you're going to connect to the headlight directly. So blue and a black, blue and a black, female plugs, male plugs, I'm sorry, male plugs. And the last wire that you have on the accessory wiring harness will be connections like this for horn, which is a 36 to 48 volts. So it's a universal horn for both of the ATVs, for the Model X or Model Q. Yeah, I don't have a horn in my possession right now, but horn will have exactly same spade terminals, so you just plug it in. Doesn't matter which one is which one, left, this one going to left or this one going to right, it does not matter. Now next you're gonna have wires that go into the speed switch. So here is the back of the speed switch. As you can see, two black wires going to the bottom of the switch. Now you will ask where the bottom is. It does not matter. So this can be a bottom, or you can flip it like this, it doesn't matter. So two black wires can be connected from here or from opposite side, it doesn't matter. And so let's say that in my case it's going to be on the bottom, two black wires on the bottom, and the yellow wire on one side, and the pink, kind of orange pink, on the other side. It also doesn't matter which side you're going to place this wire, yellow to this side or yellow to this side, does not matter, as long as you connect two black wires on the bottom or on the top of the switch. So what it's doing, this switch, if you click to the right, it's going to connect right side of the switch, this bank. So it's going to connect this wire together with the black wire, so this pink or orange was black. And if you put on the middle, it's going to disconnect all wires, none of them will be connected. If you put your switch to the left, it's going to connect left side of the bank, which is yellow and black. That's all it's doing, just connecting wires together. Well, okay, and the last plug that comes from the controller, it will say charge. That's going directly to your charging port, which is most likely going to be built inside of the battery casing, plastic casing. I don't have that plastic casing, but you have an idea that is going to be built inside of the casing. On some ATVs this charging port is built on the frame, so, and we're going to plug it in. Now you see those two plugs stays unplugged. One of them say indicator, another one says brake. They will always stays unplugged. You will have two leftover plugs. They are not going to be connected anywhere, only those two. The rest of the plugs must be connected. In my case I don't have another brake lever, that's why you see another plug disconnected. But in your case, if you have both brake levers, left and right side, all of the plugs must be connected. Okay, those two are optional. For example, this indicator, which is an open source of power, it's a 36 volts. You can always connect something extra, for example fog lights or stereo, or you know, whatever you want, as long as it's going to run on 36-40 volt system, because you're not going to see 12 volt. So be careful, do not connect any 12 volt system, because it's going to get burnt. So your system must be working from 38 to 41 volt, because this is what your battery going to produce, between 38 to 41 volt. And extra brake, that's going to be in case if you want to connect extra safety switch, for example on the footrest, so your kid will have to push a brake pedal, and only after then the accelerator handle will respond. So this is optional. Those two plugs are optional. Okay, now I'm going to go everything again, so you can see, just in case if I was too fast or not clear. And now the moment of truth, how everything's supposed to work if your battery are fully charged up and producing minimum of 38 volts, between 38 and 41. So I'm going to connect this male to female plug. Alarm is going to respond and give me a sound confirmation that power is there. Okay, that's what you want to hear. This is normal noise. Now I'm going to turn on the ignition and see if my battery is powered on, and it's probably not very visible. I'm going to remove this, but it's green, full bars. Too bad that you don't see, guys. At least I don't see through my camera that I'm holding that it's on right now, the green battery level indicator. Now I'm going to put machine on a forward. This is neutral, this is reverse, this is forward, and I'm going to twist the handle and see if the motor will spin. And that's my motor is spinning. So everything is working perfectly. I'm going to put on a reverse and twist my handle, and it's spinning in reverse, so everything is fine. Now I'm going to check if my brake lever is working fine. So I'm going to squeeze my lever and see that my lights are coming on. So the brake lever is working. Now remember, your brake lever must work perfectly, and when you release the brake lever, lights must be off. If you release the brake lever but lights still on, that means that your brake lever is not pushing this sensor inside, which is built inside of the handle housing, and you need either to replace the handle, maybe try to clean it, or spray it right there where the black pin is. You will see inside of the handle, once you squeeze it, you will see that pin, electrical pin. So try to lubricate it, clean it, and maybe it will work again like it should. So if the brake is not released, the handle, the accelerator handle will not respond. See, handle is in open position, the light, the rear tail light is on, the motor is not responding until I released my brake. Light is off, and now motor is working. This is very important technical diagnostic issue, because the brake handle is actually preventing power from coming from the controller to the motor. Now the next, I'm going to check if my lights are working. So I'm going to push the light button, and you see both of my lights are working, on and off. And if I would have a horn connected here, if I would push this green button, it would send 39 volts to this horn, and we would hear a beep, but we don't have it. Well, I think this is pretty clear and pretty simple. Should not be any problem. Now, what I wanted to mention in the last few minutes, that there is an adapter like this. You can buy them separately if you have an older ATV. This is in case you have a broken charging port, or you're removing your battery pack and storing inside of your house during the winter. You can always plug in this charging port directly to the batteries, to the battery plug, and recharge your battery pack inside of your house during the winter storage, because it's going to have exactly the same charging port as original, which is built on a frame on some of the older ATVs. Okay, so this is the one thing that I wanted to mention. This is optional. Most of the ATVs comes with this adapter right now, and many people, they don't know what this for. So this is only for the during the winter storage, or in case this charging port is broken, you can charge it directly. Now, and the last, the previous model ATVs came with exactly the same controller, but with the older handle, accelerator handle. So if you have a older accelerator handle like this, it will be plugged in exactly the same way as the rest of the components, except the throttle handle plugs will be only 2 instead of 3, because this one has 3 plugs by the end of the wire, and one of them for the ignition switch. Well, this older plug does not have ignition switch. You know that this is built on your frame, so it's going to have only 2 plugs. But so you plug in the rest of the plugs the same way, except look for the single plug that says throttle, and it's going to be single wire that will be going to this yellow single wire. That's where you plug it in. So it's a positive. So this blue wire is a positive that you send in to this yellow wire going to the throttle handle, and it's actually only displays how much energy you have in your batteries. That's all. Even if you will unplug this single wire, as long as you have those 3 wires plugged in, your ATV will work. As long as this 3-pin plug will be plugged in, your ATV will work, but you will not see how much energy you have on the battery. So this single wire only showing energy, but the rest of the connections are exactly the same as I've been showing previously. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful, and you will avoid burning or damaging any components during the installation replacement. Bye. God bless you guys.